We are more connected than ever, and Americans are lonelier than ever. US Surgeon General just announced that there is a loneliness epidemic happening in America. And if you live here yourself, that might not shock you. In America, I think it's rare to live your whole life and never experience loneliness. And today, we're going to talk about the loneliness epidemic, what I think is really going on, and also at the end, what you can do about it yourself. Because I don't like to just talk about things just to talk. Like, we need some actionable items, you know? If you guys haven't seen my channel, I'm Shelby Church, and this is gonna be a new series that are more chatty podcast style. I might put them on a separate channel if you guys want that. I initially put the first one, if you wanna go watch it, on my vlog channel, and it got such a good response, and people thought I should put it on my main channel. I thought, okay, I will. I will for this one. I have a lot of different topics I wanna talk about, so feel free to subscribe if you wanna see some of these kind of commentary on our society and just different things going on. Maybe grab a beverage, or you can listen to this as a podcast and go on a walk. I have some tea, and let's get into the loneliness epidemic. Okay, I've broken it down into a few categories actually. And this graph here that shows how we spend our time as we age is very telling. As you can see, when you are 1 to 21, you spend so much time with other people, with your family, friends, not coworkers yet, but you know, schoolmates, friends. You're kind of constantly with other people, and then as you get older, you increasingly spend time alone. A new study from Fortune.com found that 34% of Americans expect to spend more time by themselves, and 37% interact with not even one person per week. Let that sink in. That's crazy. I didn't know it was like that, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you think about work from home and all of that. Now, it just wouldn't be possible before COVID, before remote work. You had to go interact with people. Your job really forced you to, but now it's possible to not interact with anyone at all in a week. So I found a TikTok that really paints this picture. Just take a look.
Live alone, or you work from home, or you only have a few close friends in the city you live, or maybe you're all three of those things, the triple whammy like me, then you probably know what true loneliness feels like. The life I was living in Tampa was not healthy. I'd wake up every morning alone, work from home in my apartment alone, and then do my night routine alone. And since I only have like 2 or 3 close friends in Tampa, I would see them like once or twice a week, but we're all adults. It's hard to make time.
I mean, that is the reality for a lot of people now, and it's kind of invisible to people that don't know that. You know, the older generation, they can't really see that. They can't even comprehend it. Like people who got married when they were 20 years old, like my mom, she's probably never even experienced what it's like to be that alone. But that is what it's like for a lot of people that work from home and work remote. And I'm not demonizing remote work. We'll talk about it more later because I think it's actually a good thing. But that is the reality. And I myself have days like that because I live alone and I work for myself. Yeah, there are times where like, you know, a couple days in a row, I might not really see anyone except like the Trader Joe's cashier. Usually I proactively make a lot more plans, and a lot of days I'm out and about shooting, but there are some days where like I come back from a trip and I didn't really plan anything, and so I'll spend a few days just like getting my shit together alone, like totally alone. And if you watch my vlog channel, you know I am in a relationship, but it's long distance, and he was here in LA for a few months, and so it was like basically like living together. But then this month it's been like, you know, living alone. And so even though I am in a relationship, I know what that lifestyle is like for someone who is, you know, living alone, working alone kind of thing. I myself at this point in my life,
Hi, I'm Jacksepticeye's editor Trey Yates, and I've been working with him and many different YouTubers for the better part of 7 years now. I want to talk about the real reason why MatPat is leaving. Also, apologies in advance. I have a script over here that I'm going to keep on looking at. I wrote this up pretty quickly. I just wanted to get this out there. Okay, thank you. This is all stemming from my personal experience within the industry, but I do truly believe that this is what's happening with YouTube right now. YouTube veteran MatPat is quote unquote retiring after 13 years on the platform. And I want to clarify, good for him. The man has been married basically since he started his YouTube channel. Both he and his wife had worked endlessly for the past 13 years on their channels. And they also have a son who's a lot older than I was expecting. He's like 5'6", 28, I don't know. This follows Dan TDM uploading far less frequently now, Stampy ending his Minecraft series after 823 episodes, and Tom Scott ending main channel uploads. The reason why I'm making this video is in response and in addition to this video that Ludwig posted 4 hours ago. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip.
But I think the reality is that when you start becoming a YouTuber, you have the dream of wanting to become a YouTuber, you just throw shit at the wall. Whatever it is, whatever creatively you are good at or you think is funny or fun or helpful to the world, you just keep doing it. You know, MatPat had game theory, but you get the idea. When something sticks, you do it.
He hits the nail on the head right there. And I wanted to add on to it by talking about YouTube's biggest problem for years and years now. And that's that they want everything automated. For proof of what I'm saying, upload a video that has any pop song in it. Start reacting to TikToks or something and upload those to your channel. You know when a creator says that they can't upload that day because something got copyright claimed or something got age restricted? That's what I'm talking about. That wasn't by a human. That was by YouTube's algorithm and AI and the robot behind the scenes claiming their video automatically. Now that's kind of besides the point. We need to get back to MatPat because the algorithm behind the scenes is making the rules and making sure that the machine is still running. And therein lies the problem with why MatPat got burnt out, why he's taking a step back to behind the scenes so he can work on game theory, food theory, film theory, all of those projects. It's because when he found his stride, it worked for him. And the algorithm wanted him to keep going and doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's the issue. The algorithm wanted MatPat to be the machine, but he's not. As much of a hard worker as MatPat is, and as much as people put him on a high pedestal, MatPat is still a human. And that's happening with every single creator. I know it happens for Sean too. I mean, we talk about it all the time, how he's getting overworked and stressed. And I mean, I feel it sometimes too. And it's scary doing it that way because sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you have a video that doesn't bang as much. And that's terrifying whenever you need to keep your channel alive. You watch older YouTubers who upload every day, and it sounds like the life is getting sucked out of them. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have someone like HBomberGuy, who uploads a fantastic video once a year. But the reason why he does that is because the video is so polished and there's so much production to it that it's basically like a goddamn movie. For him, it's like 2 goddamn movies. That video was 4 hours long. It's because this automation that expects so much work and so much production out of the creators is not just tiring, but it's also dehumanizing. And eventually, that gets to you. None of us want to do that forever. Unlike AI and robots, we continue to grow. And I hate to other sides things, but regardless of all of this, I do understand why YouTube is like this. This is a user-generated platform. And with so many people on this earth, anyone can upload whatever they want to this channel, website, whatever. And that is a lot to keep up with. Eventually, you do have to rely on some automation before some crazy guy in his basement starts uploading videos of him skinning baboons. But I do have an answer for YouTube. Stop giving so much power to your algorithm. Start making it easier for YouTubers to make the videos that they want to make by negotiating the time that it takes to make those videos versus the frequency of when those videos should be uploaded. Give them a little bit more time. And I know it's because you want your ad revenue money, but you're being very greedy with it. And then on top of that, add tools to your copyright claims and restrictions to make it easier for creators to get in touch with a real person in case their algorithm makes a mistake and restricts a video for no good reason. It's these rules that are being set by the AI that the employees behind the scenes cannot change that's causing bottlenecks and hiccups for creators. It's time we fight back and put humans back in the seats to make the rules. Also, I'm going to be honest, I had a lot more thoughts on this earlier today, and I'm pretty sure I didn't remember them, but I genuinely do want to hear.
There are so many strange stories out there that it's hard to decipher fact from fiction sometimes. The conspiracy theories are the murkiest stories of them all. On one hand, they may just be something we create to help make the world interesting. On the other hand, maybe they could be real, and if that's the case, we're in a lot of trouble. Here are the 5 strangest celebrity conspiracy theories explained. Number 5. The lizard people we love. In the landscape of modern myths and urban legends, there are tales that stretch the boundaries of belief, but that doesn't mean they can't be true. Among these, a peculiar conspiracy theory winds its way through the glittering world of celebrity, suggesting that beneath the skin of some of the most famous faces we've come to love lies a secret far more bizarre than any tabloid could invent. This is the story of the lizard people theory, a narrative that defies logic and yet has seeped into the undercurrents of pop culture everywhere. The roots of this conspiracy take us back to a time before social media and viral news was everywhere. It was the 1990s when David Icke, a former soccer player and sports broadcaster turned conspiracy theorist, first proposed the idea that many influential figures, including celebrities, political leaders, and heads of state, are in fact shape-shifting reptilian humanoids. These entities, he claimed, belong to a bloodthirsty alien race, manipulating world events to keep humans in a state of fear and ignorance. The idea seems outlandish, yet it found a foothold in the public imagination. Why? Well, because the world, it appears, is very messed up. Perhaps this theory offers an oddly comforting explanation for the sometimes inexplicable behavior of the rich and powerful. The theory suggests that these lizard people are able to shift between a human and reptilian form at will, using their positions of influence to orchestrate global events for their own sinister benefits. Examples cited by believers are as diverse as they are bizarre. A glitch in a video feed, an awkward movement caught on camera, or an unusual glint in a celebrity's eye. All have been pointed to as evidence of the reptilian nature hiding in plain sight. There's videos of many celebs exhibiting signs like this: Beyonce, Justin Bieber, Rihanna, Miley Cyrus, and of course, Mark Zuckerberg, just to name a few. In fairness, some of these videos could merely be special effects put in place. But if that's the case, then what's fueling this enduring conspiracy? Surely, there must be some truth to it. Skeptics point to psychological factors like pareidolia, a tendency to perceive meaningful patterns like faces and random things. Others suggest it's a modern manifestation of age-old fears, a sort of digital age reboot of ancient myths about demons and shapeshifters that have haunted human stories for millennia. As to why it's lizards exactly, well, some think they are an alien species, but others say that they've been here all along. Lizards have lived on planet Earth far longer than human beings. In that time, they too have evolved and, as part of their survival skills, have learned to shapeshift into things like people. Really, when you think about it, what better way to ensure your survival than by convincing your enemies that you don't even exist in the first place? Thus, the lizard people show up as humans and pull the strings in whatever direction they see fit. As we delve deeper into the 21st century, the line between reality and fantasy becomes even more blurred. The lizard people conspiracy, while lacking credible evidence, serves as a mirror to our society's fascination with the unknown and the unexplainable. It reminds us that sometimes the most outlandish stories can take on a life of their own, reflecting our deepest fears and curiosities back at us. Number 3. Beyonce, the Queen of the Illuminati. In the world of glittering lights and red carpets, there lies a theory as mysterious as it is controversial, and that is the claim that Beyonce, the iconic singer and performer, is the clandestine queen of the Illuminati. The roots of this conspiracy take hold in the early days of Beyonce's skyrocketing career. As she ascended the heights of fame, first with Destiny's Child and then as a solo artist, some observers began to talk about the symbols woven into her performances and videos, signs they believed were too deliberate to be mere coincidences. And these symbols, often linked to the storied Illuminati, which is a group alleged to be puppeteers of world events, became the kindling for a firestorm of speculation. The idea of Queen Bee being so connected doesn't start with any overt revelations, but rather with a bunch of insinuations. Beyoncé's performances, laden with complex imagery, have often been dissected by conspiracy theorists. They point to her use of symbols like the all-seeing eye or the triangle, motifs frequently associated with the Illuminati, as evidence of her alleged ties. And these theorists argue that her influence and stature in the entertainment industry are the result of her Illuminati connections, suggesting a sinister undercurrent beneath her success. However, as we venture deeper, the narrative becomes more intricate. And counter-arguments from skeptics and experts in symbolism highlight the dangers of misinterpretation. They suggest that these symbols may merely be part of the artist's exploration of powerful imagery, a common practice in the music industry to evoke intrigue and discussion. But the theory takes a more dramatic turn with Beyoncé's marriage to Jay-Z, another figure often linked to Illuminati rumors. Their union was seen by some as a merging of power within this shadowy group, further fueling the fire of conspiracy. Their combined influence in the music industry, coupled with their immense wealth, has been cited by theorists as proof of their high-ranking status. The two together are estimated to be worth around $3 billion. So, perhaps they are just very talented and have made the right business investments, or maybe there's some truth to this theory. Beyoncé herself has rarely addressed these rumors directly, adding an air of mystery to the narrative. Her silence is often interpreted in various ways, as confirmation by some, and as a dignified refusal to engage with baseless speculations by others. In the end, the story of Beyoncé and the Illuminati conspiracy is as much about our society's relationship with fame and secrecy as it is about the star herself. It challenges us to question where truth ends and fiction begins in this mesmerizing dance of celebrity culture that we love. As the stage lights dim and the applause fades, the mystery endures, leaving us to wonder about the realities that might lie hidden beneath the dazzling facade of stardom.
Taylor Swift is one of the world's biggest stars. A new opinion piece in the New York Times speculates that Taylor Swift may be a closeted queer person. And
Taylor Swift is one of the most successful and popular artists in the world. She has sold over 200 million records, won 11 Grammys, and amassed a loyal fan base that worships her every move. She is also one of the most overrated artists of all time. Yes, you heard that right. Taylor Swift is not the musical genius, the feminist icon, or the victimized underdog that she wants you to believe. She is a calculated, manipulative, and hypocritical star who has built her career on controversy, drama, and mediocrity. Don't believe me? Well, let me give you some examples of why Taylor Swift is overrated and why you should stop listening to her music. Taylor Swift may have started out as a country singer-songwriter, but she quickly abandoned her roots and jumped on the pop bandwagon. Since then, she has churned out one generic and formulaic album after another, recycling the same themes, melodies, and lyrics. Her songs are mostly about her ex-boyfriends, her feuds with other celebrities, or her own self-pity. She rarely explores any deeper or more meaningful topics, and when she does it in a superficial and cliched way. Her music is also bland and predictable. She uses the same chord progressions, the same hooks, and the same production tricks over and over again. Her vocals are weak and nasal, and her lyrics are full of rhymes that don't rhyme, metaphors that don't make sense, and references that don't add anything. For example, in her song, Midnight Rain, she sings,
"It came like a postcard, picture perfect, shiny family, holiday, peppermint candy, but for him it's every day."
Taylor Swift is on top of the world, but critics say she's done some sketchy things to get there. The country crooner turned pop star has forged a wildly successful career that's been boosted by her many high-profile feuds, legal battles, and endless innuendo. She's been accused of copying other artists, and yet she ferociously attacks others who might be riding her coattails. From her controversial view on feminism to her odd business arrangements, let's take a closer look at the shady side of Taylor Swift. The other side. Swift has played coy about the inspiration behind some of her songs, but she's made it clear that many of her songs are inspired by her real-life relationships.
I like writing songs about douchebags who cheat on me, but I'm not gonna say that.
Swift's fans have had no trouble figuring out who each song's story is about, though, and some of her apparent muses have fired back. Musician John Mayer told Rolling Stone he was humiliated by Dear John. He said of the track, "It made me feel terrible because I didn't deserve it. It was a really lousy thing for her to do. I never got an email. I never got a phone call. I was really caught off guard." Mayer also bit back at Swift's decision to commit her complaints to lyrics, saying, "I think it's kind of cheap songwriting. I know she's the biggest thing in the world and I'm not trying to sink anybody's ship, but I think it's abusing your talent to rub your hands together and go, wait till he gets a load of this. That's bullshit." Swift responded by telling Glamour that Mayer was being presumptuous about the track's inspiration, but he isn't the only ex who's bitten back at her very personal writing style. Joe Jonas also claims Swift manipulated the facts regarding their breakup to drum up sympathy at the expense of his reputation.
There's one that's about that guy, but that guy's not in my life anymore, unfortunately.
Jonas responded to the backlash over her single 27-second phone call in a letter to fans, writing, "For those who have expressed concern over the 27-second phone call I called Swift to discuss feelings, those feelings were obviously not well received. I did not end the conversation. Someone else did. Phone calls can only last as long as the person on the other end of the line is willing to talk. She might be known for her brutal breakup anthems, but the boys who inspired them are apparently unimpressed." Exaggerated excitement? When Taylor Swift first started collecting trophies for her music, her open-mouthed shock-faced reaction to winning was endearing. After a while, though, she started to seem disingenuous with her gaping expression. The only time she seems genuinely shocked is when she loses to someone else. Remember the sneer she threw at Adele during the 2013 Golden Globes? Or her embarrassing reaction when Daft Punk beat her for Album of the Year at the 2014 Grammys? Swift candidly addressed the latter in an interview with Grammy Pro, saying, "For a second, I kinda thought we had it. I remember not going to after parties. I went home and cried a little bit, and I got In-N-Out Burger and ate a lot." That might sound a little dramatic, but that seems to be Swift's professional MO. Crashing the Kennedys. In July 2012, Swift was feeling 22 with the guy who just turned 18. Connor Kennedy, the grandson of Robert F. Kennedy, was barely of legal age when he started dating Taylor Swift. Despite some backlash about his age, Swift got invested in the relationship quick and even bought a beach house near the Kennedy family estate in Cape Cod. While the two were dating, she was also accused of crashing a family wedding with him against the family's wishes. Victoria Gifford Kennedy, mother of the bride, told the Boston Herald, "Connor and Swift texted me an hour before the wedding and asked if they could come. I responded with a very clear, please do not come. They came anyway. I personally went up to Miss Swift, whose entrance distracted the entire event, politely introduced myself to her and asked her as nicely as I could to leave. It was like talking to a ghost. She seemed to look right past me." Swift's camp denied the claims, but Today Show host Kathy Lee Gifford, who was at the wedding, insisted the incident happened exactly as Victoria described. Heartbreaker. For all her scorned woman songs, Swift has allegedly broken